First on the agenda is Mr. Mellon.
All right. You guys want to say me about my game plan?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, I made you two pages there. The first page shows you what we talked about back on the budget. And I highlighted down in the bottom what we budgeted, with Don and the new person. We're gonna have probably, if this all works right, we're gonna have probably like 3 months to where we'll have double employee. And I'm gonna show you a calendar on the next page in a little bit, why that 3 months is pretty important for the new person. So I think we'll be all right. So I'm thinking after the holidays, we'll probably put something in the paper and then start getting some applications and so forth.
Thanksgiving or Christmas?
New Year's. And because it's still a long time.
It's when May
May
31st.
So say we're have 3 months, and what I put on here is the budget for the new person for 10 months. So that's the 3 months that we'll have 2 employees, or double employees.
Yeah.
3 months.
And if you go to the next page, it's there's some important, what would be nice for that new employee, there'd be at least to be able to start getting their profession down pat, because if you go to the middle of the page where it has the personal property deadline, taxpayer files personal property renditions by March 1st, that's really what Maryland does. The taxpayer files oil and gas property renditions by April 1st, and then they will be here for that. They'll be here for the hearing process, and then we normally certify by law. We have to certify the values to the county clerk by June 1st now. We try to do it like the middle towards the end of May to give Dina some time to look for errors, look for some corrections. If we have a computer glitch, we still have a couple weeks to get it fixed, and then we're still certified by statute then. So, and then at that point, when we certify, then hopefully there'll be 1 more week with Dawn there, and then Dawn will May 31st retire there. So we got some pretty big dates in there that the new person will actually be involved in, and I think it'll work out well. I did resign at Pawnee County. My last day in Pawnee County will be January 6th, and so that frees me up also next year.
So you'll be here 2 days a week?
And depending on what happens, it could be 3. But I think that'll work out good.
That's kind of the way I was looking at that, is if we got a person here 3 months, that's basically going to be 12 days here with you.
And what that'll do then is at that time, then we'll start that 17% the summer part, when we go out and measure and so forth, and then that's when I'll spend a lot of time with them. I'll probably let the first month or 2, I'll spend a lot of time with Don and Maryland, and then I'll probably take them over in June and take them out with me on the data collection.
Yeah.
You don't want to throw everything at them all at once. You want to bring them in a little bit, let them soak this in, and go through the hearing process, and then add to it. That's my opinion anyway.
A year ago, our thought was that, whoever stepped up into this position may be able to get trained as an appraiser. Are you still kind of thinking that?
Kind of not. Where I'm at with that right now is I think if that person falls into it and it works out, that would be great.
Yeah.
We are seeing some counties that the counties are paying to get these people their certifications, their RMA designations. It's a lot of money, and you have no guarantee as a county that they will stay. They can get their RMA designation, and then I'm just going to throw a county out there. Hodgman County could come open, and they could go.
Yeah.
So there is a scary part there. The other part would be is if there are some good appraisers that want to still do districts where you could get a an appraiser to come in here like I did, and you wouldn't have to put them through all the classes,
Yeah.
and they would have years of experience. Disadvantage, okay? There's gonna be advantages and disadvantages. I think on this new person, we just need to see where they're at on this.
Yeah,
The big thing is gonna be is can they hold hearings? Can they handle that part of it?
with that fine man having a screen on his spit.
You get, yeah.
Or take the test.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of hiring a, you know, I can definitely see, you know, you don't want to send them to school and then they go somewhere else, but I mean, when you're doing the interviewing, you know, I think there are a few people around
Sure.
that if they went through it,
Sure.
I know 2 people that are interested that I'd feel pretty confident if we spent the money on them, that they'd be here the rest of their lives.
The first 2 classes, you're gonna know pretty quick. I mean, not the first 2 seminar classes, because they're gonna go to a lot of the introduction classes to the computer, to Orion, CIC, stuff like that. We're gonna know is when you send them to the IAAO classes, where they're gonna, to start the process to get their RMA license and designation. We're gonna know at that point probably where they stand. Because those classes are hard enough to where they're either gonna bow out and say, I like working here, but I don't wanna do this part. I wanna do what you're training me, and that's where I wanna be. You're typically gonna know at that point.
What's our rendition?
A rendition is really a piece of paper that you sign your name to for the list of your trucks that are tagged. Probably yours would be like a 16 or 20 amp tag, or a boat, or a rendition. If you have a business, it's for the equipment inside the business. That's a rendition.
Never filed a rendition.
It's probably because they're always late.
You've never signed a paper down with Maryland on your personal property?
Never.
What? Are you sure?
I get one every single year on all my grain
Doesn't she
trucks,
mail them out?
semis,
She mails them out.
anything
I
that's
just come in and
small.
pay 'em.
Well, no, this is before you pay them.
He's probably getting a penalty.
It comes
Yeah.
You're probably paying like 50% more because you're not doing a rendition.
Because it just says, yes, I own this, or no, I sold it.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
if you don't own it, you mark through it, so you
And
pay
it
for
comes
it.
in
Yeah,
an envelope that's not sealed.
Well, if you have not, thank you for the penalty.
Yeah. They're pretty steep.
Maybe not,
Just
I'll
do
bet
the
you
first
have.
of March.
Yeah.
you have to show me that paper.
Didn't it?
I should have given you
Yeah.
that your first day on the job.
So
And
between
you know, when it's kind of funny when Ray, since you brought this up, we certify in the spring to NELA like by June 1st,
Yeah.
and then we recertify the personal property and oil and gas, like we did a week or 2 ago. But that's why, because Maryland adds on everybody that didn't render gets that penalty. Now, you can still sign it and get it that reduced, but
How many people did that?
quite a few.
Lots. You might ought to go check them.
Maryland brothers don't sing this name.
Because I get one on
You'd be the
golf
first one I'd
cart.
send it to. if that's
Golf
just-
carts are really fun.
Really?
Yeah.
We don't have as many anymore, and if you remember back in 2006, Governor Sebelius, when she did the machinery and equipment law, we've talked about that a couple times. Anything purchased for those businesses that falls under the machinery and equipment Schedule 5, if you replace something that you had, it doesn't go on the tax roll. What it was done is just stimulate to update your equipment and so forth. A good example would be a computer. You know, if you had a computer before that date, in 2005 you bought it, and then in 2008 you bought a new one, that one goes off the tax roll, the new one doesn't go on the tax roll. So we've been in this cycle for a few years.
I bet you those all went to my mom.
That could be, we're gonna take a break after this.
Yeah.
Go check me out.
Yeah, penalty made his ears perk up.
Yeah, really.
And it's fortunate we have the sheriff and the sheriff.
Just take me now.
Flip a coin. We go to Rice or Martin.
So that's kind of where I'm thinking, going back to this here, on the employee then. I think we're in good shape, I do, and I think we'll find a good person, you know, and, I just don't think we make the process too long. And then see where we're at.
The only thing that scared me is if you didn't find anybody to file with you, or the one to do it.
I think we will.
I do.
I mean, I think we will.
2 months.
I do.
I think one of the concerns with Carl was is that enough time
Sure.
for a search.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not so much training, but just search and find them.
Because if you don't get them trained and then they come in and want something, they can't get it, and you're not here, then they come complain to us, and that's a bad deal.
Well, now Maryland's done it. You mean the taxpayers?
Yeah.
Well, that time of the year they won't.
Okay.
Because remember, Don will be here because he's gonna even be here through the appeal process.
Yeah.
So they won't, nothing, you guys won't see nothing change till probably, you won't probably get any questions if that would happen till the middle of 2021.
So like on the new imaging.
Don't you think?
I mean,
Yeah.
Because the oil and gas is quiet
yeah,
typically between when we certify and when the tax statement goes
Yeah.
out. Oil and gas, personal property is usually pretty quiet.
Where a year ago where we went on our new imaging deal, Manhattan,
Kimball.
Kimball mapping.
Yeah,
Does the GIS.
We
Yes.
went away from the GIS, right?
Right.
And went with
And went
Kimball
with them.
mapping.
with the GIS.
Okay. Now, like, a couple weeks ago when I went in there and we were talking about new buying some ground of this and that, you guys printed out the maps that had property lines. That was the Kimball mapping, right?
Yes.
So, is Marilyn trained over on that Kimball mapping? Because that's kind of her deal, isn't it?
Yeah, we've had some trouble with the plotter, bringing that across to the big plotter.
Yeah.
But we're getting through that. I mean, there's always gonna be some kinks and stuff with this, that, and the other. But, yeah, it's coming along good.
So DG and Marilyn are enough cross-trained to where
Mhm.
Marilyn can help the new employee? Okay.
Yep. And we're going into that a little more, you know, a little more when they get here then. and so forth. But I think we're gonna be okay. I mean, I really do. I mean, losing Don's expertise on the oil, of course, that's always gonna hurt you, but overall, I think we'll be all right. I don't see any problem with the certification or anything of that nature.
So when you do your interviewing on those, I mean, how does that work? I mean, are we involved in that at all, or is it just you?
We're
or
good,
what?
baby.
What?
No, I was just gonna do it. I think in the past, geez, I guess when we hired Don, I think we had them brought in, because I'm not here today, we had the applicants brought them to the county clerk's office.
That's what a lot of,
Okay.
because
And
since
then-
he's not here a lot and that brings it in, the other employees don't need to,
So we're
and
gonna
take
all
the
brought
chance
in
they
there.
get lost or
And
whatever.
then go through and make some phone calls.
Can we listen?
You okay? Sure. If you want to.
Can we be a fly on the wall?
I think that is illegal. Thanks. But calendar-wise, I think we look far enough ahead. I think we're covered on pretty well every basis. I really think that. Yeah.
Sounds good.
You guys okay?
Hmm?
You guys okay?
Yeah. We can talk about it more later.
I mean, if you want me to put something out there in December, you know, that we're going to, but we're not gonna hire till, I mean, it's gonna put, it's just a long time down the road. I think you can drag it too long for that. Because someone's gonna apply, they might wanna start in 2 weeks. Well, we're not going to, you gotta wait, at that time, you'd have to wait 3 months on those.
Yeah.
I see, I think we will.
So when do you want to have someone in place? February 1?
March.
March?
But you will keep us, I'm fine with all the timelines and everything like that. My only concern is as far as the hiring and the interview deal. I mean, you would kind of keep us a little bit in the loop.
Mhm.
as far as, the only thing that has me concerned there is getting a person with the right temperament. And I mean, if you've got 3 or 4 individuals that are local people, where you live in Ellsworth, and we've lived with both of these people all our lives, and some people interview really good, and if you bring their name to us, I've seen him make a total fool out of himself when they fly man, because I do think that the right temperament is probably the biggest deal on that. That's my only concern.
Well, your budget won't stand an earlier hire.
We'd fall a little short. Yeah, we would.
He's outside of county general, so he's in his own bucket, so he can walk.
Right. So due to budget constraints, he can go an extra 2 months. A salary, an extra
Could
2
not.
months. Could
No,
not do
he
an
could not.
extra
Yeah.
2 months of salary.
We'd be short. I think we'll be okay. I mean, it's not like I was going to Germany or nowhere. My gosh. He's half a mile away.
He's not. No, he could.
As of today. The information I have, he's not.
Yeah, for me,
Everything else is going good. So, you guys have anything else for
Check on Kurt.
yeah, you better go down there and check on
me? We're bringing your stack of refunds.
it. See if I send him a
Do
mail.
you want to go over that and see if there's anything else you want to ask me about these dates?
That's quite a timeline.
Yeah, that's actually a nice, we have that hung up in the office there, so people can see it and walk through the taxpayers, you know, because a lot of times, well, actually, a lot of times they accuse, actually you guys, of raising the taxes or the values because of our valuations. And if you look at the calendar, and you guys have never asked me about raising values to subside the budgets,
Can we do that?
you're not supposed to. But if you look at the calendar, that's kind of why it's actually set up that way. Those values are locked to NEDA. They're locked before you even start talking budgets. So you got that tax year, those values are locked right there, and then you start talking about your budgets and mill levies and so forth later in the year.
Okay.
So, and that's a lot of things people don't understand is you really don't control the values because it's already locked before you talk about the budgets. You know.
One thing was, are we done on this deal?
Yeah.
You know, I talked to you earlier about the Quest Oil deal. So, like on the evaluations, you guys set the evaluation on the private property,
On the what?
or what is the oil considered?
Did the renditions, the personal property.
Personal property, all right. And that, so you guys set the valuation and you send it to the tax, or treasurer's office, right?
Well, we actually sent it to the county clerk's office.
To bring you two up to date, I had an individual we were arguing about, you know, not paying the property taxes. Yeah, arguing. And I said, if you don't pay it in 3 years, we're gonna sell your stuff, get our money back anyway. He goes, well, this other individual hasn't paid theirs for 5 years. I said, I guarantee you, anybody that doesn't pay the property taxes, stuff gets sold. So he gave me the name of the company. I come in here and BG typed it in, no, they haven't paid for 5 years. I'm like, how's that possible? So evidently it had went to the treasurer's office and sat there
Yeah.
Really?
on oil.
So I don't know how many more.
So I mean, how do we know how many's sitting there?
Right.
I mean, if this wouldn't have been brought up, in another 5 years, they could say they haven't paid property taxes in
Yeah.
10 years. So I mean, I don't know what's the checks and
Lisa
balances
did
on
do
this
so.
are. That's what we're talking
I'm
about.
sure Lisa did, but I'm sure it's not.
I mean, you can't say it was LaDonna because it's 5 years old. It would have been started with the lease and went through LaDonna and had them married.
That would be a good question. Now, that would be something if you wanted Mary to get with CIC. If
Yeah.
you wanted a clear peace of mind, and if Mary, if she doesn't really know how to do it, CIC can run a report on any unpaid taxes in that treasurer's side.
Okay.
And they can go back to whatever year you wanted to go back to. See how your software people can do that. If you, and I think you need a peace of mind on that, saying there's not another 10 more leases that are, they haven't paid their taxes.
Yeah,
And it would have been caught easier if they still would be producing too.
okay.
Because if they no longer produce either.
But you said that there was one that was still producing.
On another one. Wasn't it in their name, but it was another lease?
I didn't know whether it was one that was,
Or was there one that was still,
because I said,
Okay.
are any of these producing? He said, there's one that's still producing.
okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she can run a tax warrant list by year on any of the tax types, first property, oil, gas, trucks, all. I'm sure that's a good report.
So is this something we can bring to Mary and have Mary come and talk to us next week about? Or you and Mary need to work
So, let
this
me
out?
call Lisa Milton and see, because I know she did warrants.
She
Lisa
actually,
kept on top
Lisa
of it.
cleaned up a lot of stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, she did.
So,
Because once you guys set the valuation and turn it over to the treasurer, then you're basically out of the
And
loop.
see, as soon as we certify it to Nita, we wait till she says everything looks good and everything pulled across good. In June, we're already working on, we switch
They
our
switch to
years.
20
We're already
next
moving
year.
to the next year.
So you send it to
the
Nita,
value to me.
and then once you look at it and say it's all right, then it goes to the
No,
treasurer.
I send the value to the other counties. That's what I'm waiting on now. And then we figure the levies, I put them in the system, we figure the taxes. The tax rolls get created. Mary has the tax statements run, we balance, make sure everything's good to go. I have an abstract, I have to send it to Pika. And then, once everything is good and clean to the penny, then I roll everything to Mary, the tax rolls. But the appraiser's already well into the next year, by the time all this happens.
Because we have to have the values ready by March 1st of the next year.
So, I mean, all Carl deals with is the values. But I'll get ahold of Lisa Milton, on these tax warrants and see if there's a condensed report I can run, or if she has a trick on what to
If you look on, and this is where, if you look on the bottom of that there, that list I gave you where it says, last way forward, and it talks about budgets, levies and so forth, that's where we're at right now, in the whole county process. And you can see the dates, what Nita's already done, when she's recertified her abstract and so forth, and the mill levies are talked about, and the taxes are not allowed and so forth. And that's where she has to rely on other counties to help because of the,
Good.
So if these other counties that are late
Yeah.
and getting you,
do. It puts everybody good.
so is there some leverage that the state could,
Yeah.
They can't
No?
call, they can't call them.
No.
They ought to help
well, we need to get a statute.
There's nothing that can be done, because 2 or 3 years ago, it was awful.
but like,
Almost a month late on one county. And she held up a huge big watershed, she held up my 7 counties with 351 value. It was awful.
Yeah, very nice.
But I'm behind too, because I'm waiting on. We're gonna have to come to Jesus. Because I'm a week behind. I can't be a week behind. She won't have the tax statements out by December of this week.
Yeah. So not the 19th.
Gives me a hard time It's all, it's all he does his part, I do my part, I mean, it's all gotta work
The whole
in
calendar
sync to
works
make
well.
those dates.
Yeah,
and if you notice, there's really some cushion in the beginning of the year, because in some counties, the appraiser asked for a 30-day extension to mail out the values, Well, if you had a real tight budget, real tight dates on the beginning of the year, the appraiser would put the whole thing behind it.
It all starts with him.
Because some counties, they ask for an extension. Something could happen, an employee could retire.
Do not do that to me.
Or the appraiser gets sick.
Or something happens.
That employee may change his retirement.
But
date,
the all,
it's not done.
but overall, it's a good, the state's been through it how many times? It's a good calendar.
Yeah.
It is, to make everything work right, to get a tax statement paid.
If it all works right.
Okay. Let you know.
Sounds good.
See you guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come on in, Amanda. And Amy?
And Andy.
I can back there.
Okay. On the right of your packet, you'll see the resolution to approve the extension district between Edwards and Stafford County. And that's what we're here, resolution today. There are, there's other information in your packets. We have a proposed timeline on how that works, and then we have a spreadsheet that we use to figure financially. We also have the district law on the left side of your packet, and behind that is an office space agreement that we'll have to discuss later.
You might run through the timeline, what happens after we do the resolution.
Okay, so, once you sign a resolution, we have to put it in we have to announce it in the county newspaper for 2 weeks. There's a 60-day protest period. Once we get through that, it would be sent off to the Attorney General to sign off on. And then after that, that would be in January. And then after that, we go through operational agreements with Edwards County. We have to pool all our resources, and you would have to then figure out who you want on the district board, because that's appointed by you, or
And how many?
people board. And then by July 2020, July 1st is when we would be the whole district.
There is a protest period there, if that 5% of electorate would sign it. Would that just disqualify it, or what would happen if you did the petition against it?
He goes to county.
But it'll still have to be, the final approval will have to be still to us, right?
Now we're going to vote.
If you get a.
But if we
protest,
sign this deal now, do we have to sign it again later?
It'll go through if you don't get the 5% protest petition.
Then there's a 60-day period for that.
So if you do have someone protesting, then they in turn would have to submit a petition signed by, I think it's 5% of the total, 5% of the total population of the county. Then it would go,
Of the electors qualified.
Huh?
Qualified vote.
yes. Then it would have to go to county vote, which would that be a special? Or would
Depends
that
on what
wait
time of
until?
year it is. What's your timeline? Because we'll have a primary in August. I don't know if that has to be a separate election or not. I would doubt it. I think if the timeline works, you could put it on the primary ballot, which would say.
I think that's what the resolution says.
At the next,
It says on either primary or
Okay.
general.
yeah. So if you don't get it done by August, whatever, you'd have to wait till November.
It's in regular primary or general.
Okay.
And that would be, they'd have to give a petition with 5%.
Within 60 days of,
For the publication.
I mean, I would say that we need to have some kind of a public informational meeting. Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
The one we were
Got a
invited
letter.
Oh, that was the one that when I was out drilling wheat.
I mean, we've,
It was a Monday night.
Yeah.
to.
Yeah,
yeah, we've,
You've done enough.
yeah, we've, 6 years we've worked on it.
Yeah.
And we've really tried to be open and transparent about it, so.
so what's the, if you guys get the district and done, you become your own taxing entity, like a school, what was the cap on your mill, you could raise your mill up to
2.5.
2.5, and is that per county?
Well, it'd be
Yes.
per district,
Okay.
or per county.
Per county and
So how does that work as far as, how many people will be on the board?
There'd be 4 appointed per county.
So 8 total?
8, if we were to absorb 2 or 3 more counties in the next few years, there'd be 4 from those counties as well. So there could be, you know, if you have 4 counties, there'd be 12 board members. 16.
So if the board decides, I mean, if they're running that like on a 2,
you a 4-year term for those board members?
No, actually, it's, the first board is appointed, and then they go through an election in every 2 years. Like, 2 of them will be up for election.
So it's 2-year terms?
Well, I think so. I'd have to double
Some
check.
of them, two of them have to be 4-year terms.
I think the first year,
To get
They're
everybody
a little
on an
staggered.
You're gonna
opposite
have to get
election,
it
Yeah,
yeah.
staggered, yeah.
So that first couple of years, I think it's staggered, and then after that, it's maybe a 4-year term.
so like if you say you set your mills at 2 mills, or St. John or Stafford County, if our evaluation is higher than their valuation, does the money generated in Stafford County stay in Stafford County, or is it split 50/50?
It's,
So right now, Stafford County money would be going to Edwards County,
yeah, some of it.
because I mean, we've got higher population, higher evaluation is $30 million more.
When we figured it, we figured about $4 per $100,000 household.
Yeah. And I mean, it doesn't sound like it's gonna be much,
No,
but it's what it's fair.
as far as what's there.
Is my tax dollars gonna go to Edwards County Extension Office?
Oh,
Part of it, they're all together.
it'd be collective, it's all collective, and so, you know, by doing this, what we're trying to do is, and I wish I would've known, we can talk to you about this later too, and show you the information on it, but we have areas of specialization as agents. The larger districts that have 4 or 5 counties, they have an agent for each specialized area, okay? And that's what we're trying to get to, is better service and quality programming for everybody in the county. Like, I'm not gonna go out right now and do a program on cheese or something like that. I want to give a quality program on, say, SHIC, Senior Health Insurance, that's gonna help our community members sign up for Medicare and have trusted and non-biased, confidential help with that, you know. We want to provide programming that's meaningful, quantitative, and impactful, I guess. And right now, with the 2 of us, we're spread so thin that we're just putting out fires. So by pulling a district together, we can share that load and kind of have our areas of specialization. But yeah, it
I'm
does.
assuming Edwards County has two, just like you guys.
They have to. There are some counties that have one agent. You can't even look at that.
Right.
There has to be two agents in a county.
Our,
Now, excuse me, if, say, for example, Barber County would want to join, they have higher valuations, so on and so forth. When they would be absorbed, then that would be spread out among the
Do the
three.
counties have to be contiguous that you?
No.
Okay.
we would like for them to
That'd
be.
be more efficient, but.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, forget it.
Now, what we've been told is that Ford County is interested, once we get this established. I'm not sure we're, fully on board with districting with Ford County, but they have a bigger tax base, so they have more money. So at that rate, our levy goes down. So yeah, if you can get a hold of one of those larger counties, you're pretty golden. Reno has turned that option down. We've tried Reno. Barton County and Ellis County are set. There are two districts, or two agent district, and will continue to be. Pratt has said they're not interested in districting. So I guess our hope is to get the base district going with the two counties, and then we'll absorb 2 or 3 more counties after that to become a 4 or 5 district county, or county district.
Then there was just 2 districts formed this year.
Yes, in southwest Kansas, so
Which
Seward,
one?
Haskell Stevens, and then Finney and Scott. Both were established, so we would be the 20th in the state by July 1, 2020.
Will you keep your 4-H program separate then?
They do remain separate.
Is there any way you could combine some of the 4-H stuff? Will you,
If the board would agree to that, at that point it goes to the board.
but you have your own fairs and,
Yeah, fair boards
All
are
that.
completely separate. They're not even in this equation. I mean, they're a separate entity altogether. And so this is strictly the extension offices.
And the 4-H is separate.
4-H, 4-H programs and monies stay separate. But extension budgets are what we pool in vehicles and property. We don't own a lot of property, we're not allowed to. We have a small inventory of equipment and that kind of thing.
so will we have to provide another office for an outside agent to come here? See what I mean?
Well,
If an agent from Edwards County is gonna be here to spend the day, are we gonna have a separate office for them?
no.
Okay.
We actually have another desk over there that we got for free.
I know where there's another desk
Yeah.
over there for free you can have.
But the way it works is you'll work in your main office anyway, and if I needed to go over there, they have space.
Okay.
We have enough space, so.
So what would you say your specialty is?
Well, I work with youth development and adult development and aging right now.
And then the Edwards County person?
She's early childhood development. Amanda?
My background's in farm management, so that's the avenue I pick. Brought a new vehicle second. And then Marty's background is in lifestyle.
Is there a resolution number on
It'd have to be 2019-5.
So if I read this graph here, local unit contribution in 19, what Edwards County pays this year is $128,000. Next year, if the district goes through, theirs drops down to $106,000. Stafford County this year is $149,000, what we're paying this year. Next year, if the district goes through, we jump up to $171,000. Am I reading that right?
Kind of figured what that mean that we got get started with some of the Edwards County, just to have a chance of getting them
Yeah, I
It's gotta
think,
start somewhere.
you know, we've always come
When
out
was
with-
that meeting?
30th of September.
I think you got some that would be.
No, I was really late that night.
Yeah, okay.
And we have all that information, I mean, you're available, I mean, you can come to our office, we'll go over it with you. If you want to sit through the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
PowerPoint. Yeah, I mean, I think we've been very upfront with the spreadsheets and how this is gonna work. We wanna be proactive about it, we've tried to be proactive about it, because what's gonna happen is once these districts out west started forming, everybody's gonna start forming. And then if we're not in a district, we get left behind. And, I don't, you know, I don't wanna get left behind. You know, it comes down to, you have a tax lid, you can't give us increases anymore, you know? So how are we gonna sustain our office? And this is part of it, it's like consolidating.
Has Edwards approved it?
The commissioners approved it yesterday.
I'm for it.
So on my last question I have on this, where Edwards will pay $106,000 next year and we'll pay $171,000. So you put that pool, you pool that money together and it's basically $276,000. Does that money get split half and half of it goes to Edwards and half of it, or does the $161,000 stay in Stafford County and $106,000 stay in Edwards County?
It becomes one. And
So it
that's
gets
how we
kept.
run, it becomes a complete district. And so there is no more Stafford County and no more Edwards County.
So the money gets split 50/50.
Yeah, basically, I mean, that's,
It just becomes.
It becomes a district.
Yeah.
plan.
One bucket,
One
and
bucket
then
with one
the
budget,
board.
and
yeah.
they won't track it. Oh, I spent $10 in Stafford County.
No.
No, it'll just be one budget, one
Area.
And what did you,
department,
what did you say the peak mill was on that?
Goodbye. And that is listed in your extension district law information that you have there.
I would move that we approve resolution number 2019-5 to redistrict Edwards County.
A second.
We have a motion and a second to redistrict with Edwards County. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
This is step one.
Yep, step one.
The only reason why I didn't vote no on that is because I don't like surprises. As far as, this is a lot of information to be looking at.
Oh, well, we brought it at our budget meeting last time.
I guess I didn't know about that. I mean, this is the first time we basically looked at it.
Okay, well, we brought a folder at budget.
I mean, I knew it was going on.
Yeah,
I figured we'd have more deals about that.
okay. Well, the last thing we want to do is blindside you, so
All right,
thank you guys.
so do I need to sign?
Yeah, you all need to sign it, and I'll give you guys your copy.
All right.
Thank you. Do you have something for the board? Okay, in your name?
Joyce Fry.
I want to copy everything in your packet, so I know what's going on.
Yeah.
You don't want yours?
In fact, I have several packets.
Okay. We have minutes to approve.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of October 9th.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the October 9th minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
You don't have anything? You're just taking up space?
I'm assuming you all want to go to the Kirkland Michael dinner at KAC.
Yes.
Philip sent some, the agreement for the engineering for that. Oh, you guys approved it the other day, the striping project. This is a contract with KDOT and Kirkland Michaels, and there's 3 copies to sign. If you want to look those over, we need to get those done today too.
Was that the bridge?
It's the road striping, remember?
High traffic,
Was that last?
no passings,
Oh,
Or 2
Center
weeks
lines.
ago, yeah, we have to
Kansas-
do an engineering
Kansas Drive.
study, and it's gonna be federal funds exchange money, it's not, that'll pay for it.
yeah.
It won't come out of any budget anywhere, so. That's just the paperwork to get the ball rolling. I think Phil's got a meeting today. Rob, do you have anything?
I see we have gas at Rice and Martin County.
So on this redistricting deal, so it goes through, I guess they have the timeline in there as far as everything goes through, and if they don't get their, if they don't get a 5% protest against it, then next time she comes in here,
But
will she throw down the 4 board members that she wants on the board, and we'll vote and approve those?
we do
or-
that.
How about it?
Well, there'll probably maybe some recommendations, but
I mean, I really don't like this where they bring it in and throw and put the deal on the table and say, look, over, you got 5 minutes. I guess I thought that this deal would do it different.
We had the opportunity to get that.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
very well advertised.
Yes.
But not very many people are there, correct?
I mean, everybody starts drilling right around September 20th, and to have it on September 3rd, right in the middle of wheat drilling, for the extension office is supposed to, I don't know. I guess when they came in there and did their budgets, if this was in their pamphlet, I don't remember them saying, look over this, because next time I come in here, I'm going to signature on it.
I don't think they had it done. by
there
that
was,
time.
there was a meeting in Pratt. That was, yeah, well, the first one started in March. And then they had one in Pratt.
So they person board, I guess I need to talk to her about that.
Yeah, I thought about calling you.
I'm pretty sure I was real weak.
The terms of office are 4 years.
But your 8-person board between Edwards and Stafford County determines where the money is. So if you get, there's nothing other than the board that says that 75% of the money gets spent in Edwards County or 75%.
They won't track it that way. I mean, it will be,
I know it's all put in a pool.
they won't be able to track it that way. I mean, it's gonna be just whatever they call their district.
It's just like the lines
It's not
disappear.
gonna be, it's not gonna be Stafford Edwards, it's gonna be,
District 20.
yeah. Stafford and Edwards are going away
Yeah.
to become District 20 or whatever they call themselves.
So if Edwards County gets 3 people on the board that are very strong opinionated, and how strong opinionated people kind of run a board, they can say, we want to do this program in Edwards County, and this Edwards program in Edwards County, this program in Edwards County.
I don't know what the board exactly will do. That would be a question for Amy. But would you guys pick one from each of your districts and then have an at-large one? Is that how you guys would want to do it? I mean, I don't know how the,
There were several people at that meeting that came from the public that were very interested in being there. I think
but were
these
they
people-
all from St. John or all from Stafford?
No.
See, you're gonna have to be careful and
Yes.
you're gonna have to cover the whole county.
I would actually say there was people there from every district.
Were there?
Yeah, there
Good.
were some Maxwell people, and there was some Stafford people, St. John. I kind of assumed at that time those people would probably be pretty interested in doing something like that. That asked a lot of questions that night.
That's good.
Yeah, it was a good meeting, I think.
Because you're gonna have to be careful who you don't support, or they'll hit that 2.5 mil cap if you don't.
What is the budget for? Their budget that they were getting,
149.
they were getting 129.
That's what you
So-
budgeted for next year too.
So then they'll jump up to 171.
But as far as spending X dollars over here or X dollars in there, coming out of it'll just be one.
Yeah.
That's the way ours spends, one department, one. Okay.
Basically, each agent's gonna specialize, so if that person that specializes has a meeting, he will want everybody from Edwards and Stafford County both to be there. So
Yeah.
provide the same opportunity to both counties.
And probably in the next couple of years, K-State funding will go away. And the way the counties get K-State funding is if they have two agents. If they just have one agent, K-State doesn't fund anything.
So why do they keep their switching?
There are counties with just one agent.
That's what I was
So
told.
why are we letting K-State dictate how we do this?
Pardon?
So why are we letting K-State dictate how we do this?
Do you have anything for us, Carol?
Well, no.
For the back, so. Say I need election workers in Stafford,
You do?
and that's 0,
How many do you need?
3,
I'll get you some of those after.
make sure they're. I don't know what to do over there.
So you have some, but 0? No one's 0.
How many do you ask?
I'm trying to find 3 people.
Do you send out letters or you just call them?
I sent out multiple letters, I sent out 5. Nope, nope, nope.
So if you can't get anybody, well, then will they just have to travel there?
It's my next option, but it would probably be the question.
You're supposed to do.
Is, what if we find 6 people and they split that time? Is there a regulation saying you know, it's cruel.
That can be done,
6 in the morning
but
until,
counties that have done that, the one that's supposed to show up for the second shift
Didn't
doesn't
show
show
up?
up.
so the first shift got
So I
home?
try not to do that, because then you're in a world of bind if they don't show up.
Have you tried to guilt my mother-in-law to do it?
I've tried and tried and tried her, and she firmly says no.
Really?
Well, I for one would not want to be there from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m.
But I
Used to
pay
get
them
people
very
that love
well.
to do that.
All the cookies they can eat?
They bring their own cookies, but
Used to fight to get on that thing. but
I know, but I never have a problem. Well, Maxville is shaky, but my mom still says she'd do it. But
And I did notice some furniture store has Lazy Boys on sale. Maybe if we get 3 Lazy Boys, it'd make the day pass a little faster.
I was just,
Sitting on
So
a
right
tin-
now, you don't have anybody over there in Stafford?
Sitting on a tin chair for
We'll
14
find
hours.
three. We'll find three.
I'm still working on it, but I just thought maybe you had it.
You know, I got
Talk to your coffee
Who,
girl.
who were the three from last time?
Last time was Sharon Falk, Arlene Lucas.
Do we have to live within the city limits of Stafford?
it.
Just District 1?
It's north and south.
Just have a Stafford residence
Have to be you have to be able to vote.
and have a Stafford residence.
Your district is 1.
Well, not even that.
Yeah, so anybody in District 1.
Somebody from St. John could go
I'm
in
getting
there.
close to sending somebody from St. John over there.
I will call my mother-in-law
Sharon
today,
Falk,
I'll try to put
Arlene.
on maximum effort.
Sharon Falk, Arlene Lucas, and Sharon Cayley. Sharon Cayley did call me back, she can't do it.
Shit.
So-
She's pretty.
But I haven't heard from Sharon Falk, Arlene Lucas, and Okema Shaw was my third. No communication.
We talked about this last time.
Yeah, we do, we talk about it every time.
So you don't want to work
That's why I
with
want
a
to
full
go to
person?
mail ballot elections.
I was on the, if I could do a part of it, because it's tricky being gone from, I couldn't like leave and run to a motel and whatever, so I have some restrictions
Your
as
boss
far
won't
as.
give you that day off?
What is that? Am I supposed to do that?
Your boss.
Well, I've just not done the split shift because if that would happen, I would have to go over there or I'd have to send Lisa and I just,
You'd be better off having 4 people there in case somebody.
yeah, but then you've got the one, I tried that too and you can't get 3. And if you do get the 4th one, they're just sitting there. It's- Election boards aren't fun and I get that,
They get paid to school that.
but they do get paid. Well, the girls in Maxfield, love it.
Used to be in St. John. There was
They
a
can sit
bunch
there
of
and
them
talk,
that did that.
eat,
Yeah.
but the average age over there is, I'm baby. I'm young.
And that'll be for the elections when?
November 5th. Remember you just voted?
Yeah.
Advanced voting starts today.
You got anything else? Sure you don't have anything for the commissioners? Okay. We will, I think I'll probably run down and look at the county building.
You wanna do that right now, or you wanna wait till after I vote? To go down there.
Oh. Now you got me confused.
Have you been down?
Pardon? Yeah.
Have you been down?
And then buy a badge.
Yeah, that's with me.
I didn't know if we needed to make it public information that we were gonna drive
No.
down and take a look at it.
No.
All right, we will adjourn.